Hi, welcome to Wolf Warrior Enterprises. My name is Benjamin Duveneck, and I'm the founder and managing partner of Wolf Warrior Enterprises, Wolf Warrior Coaching, and Wolf Warriors Organization. First of all and foremost, Wolf Warrior Enterprises is a brand. The wolf represents Benjamin from the tribe of Benjamin. So way long ago, the 12 tribes of Israel, Benjamin was the smallest tribe. He was the smallest tribe, but they were the most ferocious. They were even coined the ravenous wolf. The ravenous wolf was said to, in the morning, devour the prey, and in the evening, divide the spoil. So they always had more than enough. The tribe was abundant. The tribe had structure. The tribe was loyal. The tribe of Benjamin was responsible for protecting the land where King David would have his kingdom and reign. And from that kingdom would come Christianity's king, Jesus. So given great responsibility, despite being the smallest. The wolf, by nature, is a leader of an animal. They can survive in some tremendous environments that other animals can't. Wolves actually pass down information from generation to generation. They can know how to survive together, and they know how to survive alone. The warrior is represented, in my mind, by eagle's wings. See, the eagle rises above the storm. It rises above, it has clarity, and it can see, it has perception. The definition of the warrior here is the one that takes responsibility for mind, body, and soul. It feeds it well, it trains. Where it lacks knowledge, it studies. And above all, it believes. It believes in strength of will, in purpose, in heart, and in soul. Wolf Warrior Enterprises is a mission. It's my answer and solution to what I believe to be the most prevailing problem in our world today. Yes, even over murder, even over depression, suicide. And I believe that those are just symptoms masking the issue. And that problem is lack of vision. 95% of people don't have a vision statistically. They don't have a vision written down. They don't have goals written down. They don't have any accountability to those goals. There's a proverb that says, where there is no vision, the people perish. They're directionless. So what is the answer? Before I get into that, I want to share with you a little bit about my journey. I actually grew up in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Just so you know, I grew up in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and I was born to a very, very poor family. My mom was on welfare, barely afford the rent. My dad was an alcoholic and an abusive and very non-present. When I was 2, I was put into foster care for early childhood abuse and neglect. And by the age of 5, I was sexually abused by my own brother. My eldest brother, that is. When I was 9, I was forced to make a very difficult decision, and that was to go against, to be conflicted in my heart as to decide to convince my elder brother to run away with me when we were to go on a visit with my biological mom. I said to him, we couldn't do this, we can't do this anymore, because out of fear that if we were to go, intrinsically I'm thinking, we may never have a chance at life. We may never have the opportunity, security, or safety. I would struggle with many things. I would struggle with fear, anxiety, shame, and guilt. And it would be shoved so far down because of these experiences, I wouldn't know how to express it or even how to articulate what was going on, nor did I ever feel safe to do so because of how much it hurt. And even to this day, I can't fully explain it. The closest thing I can equate it to is probably a person who's been disassociated because of earlyhood trauma, or trauma in general. By the age of 7, I was a class clown. I would struggle with my own identity and would mask it by just making people laugh and performing all the time. When I got into high school, this became exhausting, so I just stopped. So I decided to go the other direction. I became a perfectionist, and I was able to go from D's and C's and even F's in freshman year to straight A's and Dean's Honor Roll in sophomore and junior year of high school. I played sports in high school. I played basketball. I played soccer. I was the fastest person on my soccer team. I would run so much that I would throw up. I stopped eating very much at all. And in high school, sophomore year, I was over-medicated on Adderall, and that eventually led at one point to me even hyperventilating and my heart almost coming to a stop completely. I remember sitting in the infirmary at St. John's Military Academy and looking up at my mom and thinking that I'm in not very good shape. I'm in not very good shape, but I don't know what to say. I don't know how to express it. How can you stop? I had an undiagnosed eating disorder, and I was trying to be a perfectionist, so I decided to go a different direction. I decided to smoke pot instead. I decided to take it out in smoking pot and cigarettes. I realized that that wasn't working and went on to my next school, and from that school, I was actually asked to leave that school, and in order to come back and officially graduate, they would tell me that I would have to go to some other program. This other program was Rogers Memorial Hospital in Oconomowoc, Wisconsin, where I was treated for 6.5 weeks for the re-diagnosis of ADHD. That was significant because it was at that point that I had the first revelation and experience of true love, where I would meet a girl and I would fully connect to her in a way I never had before. It was enlightening. I was able to really reach down and divulge kind of my past experience and really work through it in a group setting. And even at the end, I would discover that this would be one of my major gifts. I became empowered at that time. I became empowered for the first time. I started realizing that I had the potential to focus and my potential in general. And I would go back to school after that program and discover that after somebody had signed me up for a talent show, that I had a knack for public speaking, because after being signed up against my volition, I actually won the talent show through doing a stand-up routine I had made up that day. As I went forward, it became more and more difficult as I went into college to stay connected to my parents. This newfound communication and ability and potential that I had became short-lived after I went back to college. When I went to college, it was very difficult. I still had the challenges of pot addictions. I became depressed. Well, one night, I took a bottle of whiskey out of my parents' cupboard, and I chugged it. And I became so drunk that I went wandering onto the street and started going through cars. I went through 22 different vehicles. I went into one house that was wide open. I took a credit card off a counter, and I was arrested. I went to jail for 45 days and was put into solitary confinement for a week. It was at that experience that I read The Purpose-Driven Life, and I was off onto my next part of my journey. I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life, so I moved on, got some jobs, realized that wasn't working, went back to school, got another job. Well, that wasn't working. And finally, one day I got into an accident. My car was totaled. I just lost my job, and I was at my wit's end. I had no place to live. My cousin was moving, who I had been living with down in Asheville, North Carolina, and my parents and grandparents were just asking me if I'd come to live at home with them. But in my mind, I had tried that before, and I didn't know how to communicate to such a degree that I would feel a sense of purpose, meaning, or direction. August 30th of 2008, I went homeless by choice, and I found my purpose, meaning, and direction. Gave away all my things and learned a lot during that experience. I learned about my potential again. I learned to become a wholesome person. I learned confidence. I learned resourcefulness. I learned how to become the best version of myself. I was off to that journey. I would go on to graduate college, Liberty University. Backtrack, 1 year, I had acquired my first job in sales, where I'd find my first major success. I generated more leads than anybody else in that company at that time. And sure, I could think it was a fluke, but then I would go on to my next job, and I would surpass everybody else from years prior in almost every event that I would work. I would be promoted to team lead within a few short months, and then move on to my next and final job, which was doing energy efficiency sales. Within 8 months, I went from doing no sales to doing more sales than a team of 5 or 6 people would do in a week. At the end of the day, I had learned success. The mission of Wolf Warrior Enterprises is success through significance, by honing your gift, by honing your life. And 2 years ago, almost to the day, I decided to become the best version of myself. And I did, and I am. Hence, Wolf Warrior Enterprises, where the mission is to lead 100 million people to success through significance by honing their gift to hone their life. Wolf Warrior Enterprises answers this call in a couple ways. First, it's my coaching practice. It's one-on-one coaching and group coaching, public speaking, through giving people the message. So I do that through vision development in this organization and through accountability. I invite you today to partner with me in making coaching common. You can do this in 3 ways. You can become a Wolf Warrior or just answer the call. We can do some one-on-one coaching or group coaching. Feel free to book me at your next event, and feel free to fill out the contact information below or the book tab, and we'll be in touch with you. I hope, though, no matter what you do, that you find success through significance.